2023 is on the horizon and my favorite genre is already looking like it's about to kick some backside. Yeah, RPGs are on the menu, boys and girls, and boy are we gonna be feasting like royalty. Here are all the, what I would say, important RPGs heading to the Switch in 2023. In the comments, let me know which ones you're looking forward to the most, and did I miss any? Please tell the folks below. Before we get into it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because it will be the best thing you do today, unless of course you subscribe to my brand new channel, A Bit More Jordan for a lot more me. Long retrospectives on your favorite classic games, including JRPGs like Skies of Arcadia and Suikoden, and plenty more in the future. Speaking of Suikoden, next year, oh my lord, Suikoden is coming back. Suikoden 1 and 2 are being remastered, keeping the gorgeous sprite work of the characters and now adding 3D backgrounds. This is gonna be an essential way to play two of the best JRPGs ever made. Considering 2 was a game full of bugs, glitches and awful translations, the fact that it's still considered a masterpiece just shows how strong of a game it is, and fingers crossed this brand new package will fix most of its issues. If you want to know more about these two, then seriously head over to A Bit More Jordan. I did an hour and like 40 minutes on Suikoden 1, and at the time of writing this, my Suikoden 2 Ultimate Retrospective should be out maybe next week, at least on my personal Patreon. YouTube kind of screwed me over, so it will be public sometime in the distant future, but for now it's on my Patreon. Shameless plug over with. Please, for the love of all that is holy, buy these. Suikoden needs to be back for good. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes was supposed to be the alternative JRPG in a world without Suikoden, a long-awaited Kickstarter campaign from the original creator of Suikoden. I backed this game with more money than is advisable, don't want to tell the missus. But yeah, if the writer and director of Suikoden 1, 2 and 3 is making a new Suikoden game in everything but name, I am all in. And this is the project that woke Konami up into pumping out a remastered double pack. I've not been following the project a whole lot since, despite having like endless emails and updates about it, I just want to go in completely blind. I want to enjoy it. The biggest delight is that this is in fact coming to the Nintendo Switch, even though it wasn't originally planned for the console. I can't wait for this. It's a brand new Suikoden just without the trademark. Let's hope this succeeds. And by the way, many of the games in this video will have physical releases. Not all of them, but most of them. And if you want to pre-order any of them, please check the links in the description. If you pre-order using our links, you also help support us. And Video Games Plus have great prices in very favorable Canadian dollars. They have good shipping for North America and free shipping worldwide over $80. They are a great company and we've worked with them a lot, and we thank you for your support. Mugen Souls is making a surprise comeback this year. Yeah, this was a PlayStation 3 game from like 10 years ago from Compile Heart. This is a charming comical RPG that didn't exactly stand well with critics at the time, but I remember mildly enjoying it. And this re-release will be uncensored, and it will have all the original content now in English for the first time. That is very commendable. And the physical version of this is going to be exclusive to Play Asia, so the links below for that are for Play Asia with our discount code SWTV5, or whatever the new code will be in January. I'm thinking SW 2023. Dragon Quest III 2D HD is not definitely releasing in 2023, but I am very much hoping and praying it will. The power of wishful thinking has worked for me recently, so let's be positive about this one. Dragon Quest III is getting a remake, but not just any remake though. It's a remake in HD 2D or 2D HD, whichever it is. It doesn't matter because it's wonderful and gorgeous, and every game should have this art style. Even like Mahjong games, why not? Dragon Quest III is widely considered to be the game in the series that really made the series so special, going above and beyond expectation, with a class system, recruitable allies, and hopefully this remake modernizes a few things. I played the version on the Switch and, I enjoyed it, but I almost wish I waited for this version. Fire Emblem Engage is a big budget strategy RPG that will no doubt be the biggest Fire Emblem game since, the last one. Again, I haven't seen much of the PR for this one because I just enjoy saving myself for when I've got it in my hands, and there's only so many character reveal trailers I can take. This time you take control of Colgate boy or girl and do much warring, much Fire Embleming, and this is going to be the biggest game in this list. I have zero doubts about that, and I don't need to convince you anymore. I mean, you've probably already pre-ordered it, right? Record of Agarest War is a similar type of game, but again, it's a pretty old one. Originally a PS3 game from 2007. A strategy RPG with dating sim elements with a fascinating concept of breeding your protagonist to create the new protagonist. It's the generation game. Yeah, your protagonist pursues the ladies and then your boy becomes the main protagonist. And this goes on for 5 generations. I don't know about you, but pursuing one lady is tiring enough for me. Imagine having to do it like 5 times. But anyways, it looks good. In 2023, there are going to be 3 Legend of Heroes games coming to the Switch in the West, which is fantastic for JRPG fans, as long as, you're up to date with the series, because it's long, confusing, and so interwoven that you probably need to play all of them in order to get the most out of it, and not be bewildered about who is this and what do they have to do with the story. Trails of Azure is the sequel to Trails from Zero, which released this year. You definitely have to play that one first. And then we have Trails into Reverie, which is an epilogue to both the Crossbell arc and the Cold Steel arc. So that's 6 whole JRPGs you should play before this one. Some of which aren't even on the Switch, so good luck with that. And then finally we have a spin-off, The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails, which is an action RPG, and as far as I know, it can be played by itself without playing any of the other games in the series. But, experts of The Legend of Heroes, please do let me know if that's correct or not. Labyrinth of Galleria, The Moon Society, is another one that NIS are publishing, a dungeon crawling RPG, something that I am a fan of, even though I've not actually played the original game that was also on the Switch, but I've heard it's fairly good. I mean, it didn't gel with everyone, maybe a bit too risque for some in the dialogue, but if you enjoy that, you're probably in for a treat with this sequel. Monster Menu, the Scavenger's Cookbook, is a delightfully titled game, and it's a survival RPG. The more you eat, the stronger you get. I wish that was the case when I eat at McDonald's, and as you explore the dungeons, you'll be fighting in turn-based strategy battles. The trailer isn't giving too much away, so we'll have to wait and see for more information on this one. Is it good? I don't know. Tales of Symphonia is the best Tales game. Fight me. Wow, okay, I do like Vesperia and Abyss quite a lot, but this is the one I have the most nostalgia for playing on my GameCube. Well, as a side distraction for Skies of Arcadia, because that was the boss. It's a great JRPG, one of the best on the system, with a fun adventure, memorable characters, and the trademark skits. It's a shame that this isn't going to be the best way to play it, since it's running at 30 frames per second rather than the GameCube 60, and it's not even bundled with its sequel. I thought that would have been a given, but Switch owners will probably have to buy that separately later. A pity. You'd think they'd give a better incentive to buy this one rather than a less incentive. Never mind. I guess you're not missing too much. It's still an epic game that is very much worth your time. In Stars and Time is a monochromatic RPG. I don't know if monochromatic is quite the right word, because since there's grey in here too, but whatever. This is a cute looking game as you're trapped in a time loop. I'm not particularly excited about it myself, but I'm sure there are some out there who are. I thought I'd give it a quick mention. Atelier Ryza 3, that's what I'm interested in. This third entry in the Ryza arc is supposedly the biggest of the bunch yet. And no, I'm not talking about her thighs specifically, but I guess that could be true as well. The final adventure of Ryza. These are the best Atelier games out there. They do all the same great things as the others, but the characters here really added an extra layer of loveliness to the whole series. I'm hoping I have time to review this one when it comes out, but yeah, we'll see about that. Digimon World Next Order is the latest entry in the Digimon World series. Saying that it's not exactly a brand new game, it's a PS Vita game originally, but any chance of letting the series make a comeback, I'm all for it. I remember I wasn't hugely into Digimon as a kid. I did enjoy it, but I was mostly into Pokemon because the cards looked nicer and the Game Boy was, perfect for a kid like me. But I did dabble in Digimon World 1, or was it 2 on the PS1? I don't know. And it's one of my favorite games on the system. So much so, I can't remember which number it was. Anyway, I did love it though, honestly. Loved every minute of it. Very unique. I'm a dungeon crawler fan, so it worked. I can't imagine this one sucking me back into the series, but I'd definitely be happy to give it a go. Octopath Traveler 2 is another big budget affair, Square Enix giving us the good stuff with a sequel to what was perhaps one of the most unique JRPGs in years, the birth of the HD 2D style, and while over the 4 to 5 years we've known it, plenty of games have used it now, I think this will massively improve on the original. Fingers crossed it makes the stories come together in a more meaningful way this time around. That was really the only downside to the original. It was a big downside to be fair, so maybe this second entry could be perfection. Great production in visuals and especially the music. Oh my god, the music. Rune Factory 3 Special continues the trend of Marvelous going backwards. We had Rune Factory 4 a couple of years back, why not remaster Rune Factory 3 as well? It's the one I'm most familiar with in the series. I must have put at least like 100 hours into the DS game, one of my most played games on the system, maybe even more than Pokemon. What? That for me was when it was like a really unique concept. Now these types of games are like a dime a dozen, it's hard for me to get overly excited about them, but there's no doubt that Rune Factory 3 is the bee's knees and the gameplay flow was almost perfected there. It's probably still better than most new games today. Sea of Stars is an amazing looking RPG influenced by the 16-bit era of gaming. This isn't out anywhere as of yet, so it's hard to gauge if this, if this is style over substance. Is it just a world-class pixel artist trying to make a game? Well, I think we can stay mildly positive about this one because a lot of people are as hyped as hell about it. Perhaps the most hyped game on this list, believe it or not. This is made by the same team who did The Messenger, which is a completely different genre, but that is awesome, so they do have pedigree. Let's hope it lives up to the hype. Labyrinth of Zangetsu is going to be one of those RPGs that definitely slips under the radar. You can almost smell the hidden gem in this one. It smells like marzipan, and marzipan is wonderful. With an ink brush style, it's one that's a bit old school in its approach as a dungeon crawler. This is the kind of game that, wouldn't be out of place on the DS alongside like Etrian Odyssey, which is the best compliment I can give it. I wouldn't expect too much of a story, but be prepared for gorgeous and ruthless dungeon crawling. Valthirian Arc Hero School Story 2 is another one from P-Cube. This one I'm not too hot on. I know the original game has its fans, but these are more like simplistic management sims with a dash of JRPG in them. The second game does look much more expanded, however, and while the $20 budget feeling is still there, it might be just the kind of sequel every game needs. Bigger, better, more refined. Currently it's in early access on Steam, but the Switch release should be like the full-fat version whenever that's ready. Trinity Trigger is a game I know a lot of people are excited about just because of the names behind it, made by a team of creators who worked on Secret of Mana, Xenoblade, and Octopath Traveler. Despite that, personally, it doesn't look like a game that's had much of a budget put behind it, with rather stiff animations, but, looks on everything. Perhaps it is really good. It definitely has got that, that Secret of Mana vibe, and it's multiplayer as well, which is kind of unusual for JRPGs these days, and all days. We will give it a shot when it lands next year from Exceed. Loop 8 Summer of Gods looks to be something really rather sweet. A coming-of-age tale as you arrive in a sleepy Japanese town in the 80s. You explore, befriend the residents, make choices that supposedly change the emotion of the characters. There's turn-based battling and it looks incredibly fresh, right up my alley, and I'm eagerly anticipating this one. The trailer is a bit annoying because the marketing team think constant random quotes from characters is a thing that should be done. Stop talking! But hey, this is gorgeous. It didn't even need JRPG battles for me to be interested, that's just an amazing bonus. There are going to be 2 Persona games on the Switch in 2023, Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden. Oh yeah! Firstly, the good. Persona 4 Golden, just one of the best games of all time. I bought a Vita specifically for that game and it was worth every single penny. It's a game that I could not put down and I loved every single aspect of it. The reveals near the end are just so good, and it actually makes replaying it very, very difficult because I will never get that incredible rush and exhilaration. I will never get that ever again. But, you know, trust me, if you've never played it, Persona 4 is a top-tier JRPG, one of the best ever. Persona 3 is a little rougher around the edges, but still an incredible game in its own right. The problem I have is that they're using the portable edition, which I kind of hate. I played Fez, F-E-S, on my PS2 and loved it. And when I saw the PSP version, I thought, oh wow, I can have this incredible RPG in the palm of my hands. And then I was like, why can't I walk around? Oh yeah, because the world became a menu, which completely took me out of the game, like absolutely zero immersion. I need to walk around, guys, sorry. Yeah, I sold it very quickly, despite the PSP version offering like some good stuff like the female protagonist and tweaked gameplay. I can't be doing with a menu. It took me way out of it. Sorry, Atlas, but you know, they should have gone like the extra mile and merged the best of both versions. You know, an explorable world with the extra content. Would that have been too much to ask? Probably. Brave Battle Saga is a genuine Mega Drive game, an RPG made in Taiwan that was dug up out of obscurity down the back of someone's sofa and given an English translation. It's been on Steam a while, but this retro game is coming to consoles in 2023. I am mildly excited about trying it. I'm one of those people who, you know, as soon as they get to their 30s, think that older games are immediately better than new games. So there's hope, and I'd like to give this one a try whenever it releases on the Switch. Cassette Beasts is one of the latest attempts at making a Pokemon-style game. It looks pretty good. A unique concept, that's for sure. You mix monsters together in the middle of battle. Make sort of a mixtape. You get it! The art style is quite nice, and it could be good. The music from the trailer is nice too. And, you know, if you got like a music cassette theme to the game, the soundtrack better be on point. Demonschool is an old school, like, it looks like Shin Megami Tensei wannabe, but with tactical battles, so like a, you know, Devil Survivor, which is one of my favorite 3DS games. I mean, just look at this vibe. Sure, it looks like far faster paced in the gameplay, but it's just oozing that something special. I'm very much looking forward to this. In fact, I think I'm just going to charge up my 3DS now. It's been too long since I played Devil Survivor. That battle music, ugh. And with that, I better end this video. Which ones have tickled your fancy? Did I miss any RPGs on the Switch in 2023? Let me know. Purchase links for a good few of them are in the description if you want to pre-order and support SwitchWatch at the same time. Check out some of our other videos that we've done, and please check out my new channel, A Bit More Jordan, for a lot more me. Yes, go watch that Suikoden stuff. Oh yeah.